Okay, so you know how every time you open the news, it's like, bam, AI this, AI that. It's like, you can't escape it.
Yeah.
And it's exciting,
Right.
right? But also like, whoa, slow down.
Right.
So we're doing this deep dive into generative AI because it's kind of a big deal right now, and it can be hard to keep up.
Yeah, definitely.
But before we...
It feels like every time I blink, there's another crazy AI development happening.
Right. It's like drinking from a fire hose, this AI news cycle.
Totally. And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive today. Trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah, cutting through the noise.
Exactly. Figure out what actually matters, you know. So I think a good place to start would be OpenAI and all the strawberry stuff.
Yeah, everyone's talking about it.
It's like they're going for extra intrigue by being so secretive.
It's true. Very different from how they've done things before. Not only are they keeping quiet about these strawberry models, but they're also getting serious about anyone trying to figure out how they TikToking bans and everything.
Yeah, I saw that article in Towards AGI about their know your inference rules. Wild, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like they're using AI to keep tabs on other AI. Talk about a mind bender.
Yeah, and it raises some big questions about transparency in AI, especially since these strawberry models are actually designed to be more transparent themselves, like they show their work step by step. But then OpenAI filters it all through another AI before we even see it.
Whoa, so we're only getting a very, very curated peek behind the curtain then.
Pretty much, and that's what has a lot of experts on edge. Is this what the future of AI development looks like? Everything locked down, controlled by a select few?
It's a scary thought, especially with how influential OpenAI is. And then on the flip side, you've got companies like Alibaba going in the complete opposite direction. Like, they just dropped over 100 AI models, open source, free for anyone to use or build on.
Yeah.
It feels like a direct shot at OpenAI's whole approach.
It is. It really highlights that core debate in the AI world right now, right? Should this tech be locked down tight, or should it be open for all? Both sides have good points too.
Absolutely. You've got the potential for incredible innovation if anyone can just jump in, tinker, build. But then, of course, the risks of misuse, things getting out of hand. It's a tough one.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of impact this has. Like, we've seen open source really take off in other areas, things like TensorFlow from Google or PyTorch, Facebook's thing. Those have been huge for machine learning, but those are more like the building blocks, not the super advanced models OpenAI is working on.
So this Alibaba move could really shake things up, level the playing field maybe. It's exciting, but a little nerve-wracking at the same time.
Absolutely. It puts a big emphasis on responsibility too.
Wow.
We're going to need some strong ethical guidelines if things are going to be this open.
No doubt about that. And honestly, who knows what kind of ripple effects this will have? Will other companies feel pressured to follow suit? Will it force a change in the whole industry? So much uncertainty, but one thing's for sure.
It's going to be fascinating to watch it all unfold.
It's wild, right? Feels like we're watching a whole new world being built, and fast forward, and everyone's trying to grab their piece of it.
Yeah, and in all this rush, sometimes it's easy to forget that AI isn't just some abstract thing anymore.
Totally. It's already here impacting our lives every day, and it's only going to get more intense, right?
Exactly, and we're seeing that play out right now with all these practical uses for generative AI popping up, particularly in business, like Amazon's Project Amelia, for instance.
Oh yeah, that one caught my eye. So instead of drowning in spreadsheets and data points, sellers on Amazon could just be like, hey Amelia, what's the best way to get ready for the holidays?
Exactly, and boom, personalized report, tailored to their products, past sales, you name it.
Like having a personal AI business coach? That's got to be huge, especially for smaller companies.
Oh, absolutely. Levels the playing field a bit.
Yeah.
But it does make you think about all the data that goes into training these AI assistants. Which brings us to LinkedIn and their, shall we say, selective approach to data.
Yeah, that was interesting. Their whole stance on using user data for AI definitely raised some eyebrows.
It's a prime example of how data privacy laws are shaping AI differently around the world. Like LinkedIn's happy to use all that juicy user data to train their AI, except, oh right, not if you're in Europe.
Right. The GDPR wall, they're taking that seriously, huh? But could that actually give European companies a leg up in the long run?
It's possible, yeah. If they become known for prioritizing privacy and AI, that could be a big selling point.
Yeah.
Consumers are more aware than ever about their data.
For sure. It's like we might end up with two separate AI worlds. One where it's all about speed and data access, and another that's all about user control and privacy.
Fascinating to think about. But it's not just the business world getting a makeover. education is right there in the mix too. OpenAI has been making some interesting moves on that front.
Oh yeah, for sure. They hired that new exec to really spearhead their push into education, right? AI in the classroom, here we come.
It's a huge opportunity, but a lot of potential pitfalls too, of course.
Totally. On one hand, you've got the potential for completely personalized learning, AI tutors, that kind of thing. But then there's the flip side.
Right, like, are we just going to create a generation of students who can't function without an AI to think for them?
And how do we prevent cheating? And what about the teachers? Where do they fit in? It's a lot to unpack.
Absolutely, but OpenAI's investment shows how much potential they see in this area. It's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out. And speaking of potential, we got to talk about what's happening in India.
Oh, yeah. India's becoming an AI powerhouse, and they're not just following the leader, they're forging their own path.
And doing it fast, too. I was blown away by that article about NASSCOM, India's tech industry group. They're basically cultivating a whole new generation of AI startups.
And they're not messing around. These companies are just a couple years old on average, and they're already making waves.
They're tackling some really interesting problems too: healthcare, finance, agriculture. And with a focus on making AI affordable and accessible, that could really shake things up globally.
Definitely a wake-up call for the big players, OpenAI included. Can't get complacent when you've got this level of innovation and drive coming from all corners of the world.
It's going to be a wild ride, that's for sure. The companies that can stay nimble, adapt quickly, those are the ones who will thrive in the long run.
For sure, the AI world doesn't wait for anyone. It's mind-blowing when you think about how fast AI has gone from like a niche tech thing to this global phenomenon.
Yeah, and everyone wants in on the action, but it does beg the question, who actually gets to decide what happens with AI? Who shapes the future?
Right. Like at the beginning of this deep dive, we were talking about OpenAI and all their secrecy with those strawberry models.
Right, and then you've got companies like Alibaba doing the opposite, full open source.
Yeah.
And then you factor in how different regions are approaching AI, Europe with their privacy focus, India with that incredible startup scene.
It's a lot. And we can't forget about the individuals, right? The developers, the researchers, even just everyday people using AI. What role will they have?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Will it be this big collaborative effort, or will it be a few powerful companies calling the shots? Big, big questions.
And the answers matter like a lot. The choices we make right now, how we develop and use AI, it's going to echo for generations.
It's on all of us to really think about this, have those tough conversations, go beyond the hype and the headlines and really dig into the ethics, the social impact, everything.
Couldn't agree more. Well, on that note, I think we've done our best to untangle the AI web for today.
For now, at least. I'm sure there'll be a whole new set of developments by next week.
That's the fun part, right? Always something new to explore. Don't forget to check out the show notes, everyone. We've got links to all the articles we talked about, plus some bonus stuff we think you'll find interesting.
And keep the conversation going on social media. We want to hear your thoughts. What really stood out to you? What are your AI predictions? Hit us up.
Until next time, stay curious.